The Knicks made some significant moves this season, adding Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, and OG Anunoby to the roster. However, they also added another player who often gets overlooked because he was seen as a throw-in, Precious Achiuwa, who when we needed him to step up the most, he's not only done that, but he's exceeded expectations. He's become the biggest steal of the trade season thus far, and he's won favor with the Knicks fans and coach Tom Thibodeau due to his hard work, his hustle, and his play. We're going to break down his impact and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Precious Achiuwa has exceeded all expectations. Now, I remember when Achiuwa was first added to this roster, we saw OG Anunoby. We saw him doing well. But then we saw Achiuwa. We saw how he was progressing. We saw how he was playing under Tom Thibodeau. And honestly, it didn't look encouraging. It didn't look great. And he didn't look like he was going to perform at the level we all expected him to. He had some flashes in Toronto. We knew he could be a good player, but we didn't know how often he could be called upon to be that type of player. Fast forward to today, we now have people like Tim Legger, an NBA insider with ESPN, stating the following. People thought regarding Precious Achiuwa, throw in. And look, never gives up on offensive glass. Relentless D. Have a feeling if they cut his minutes as starters return, won't be for long. Knicks fans appreciate guys like Precious. That is very high praise for Precious Achiuwa, somebody who we didn't think was going to be able to fill in for Julius Randle. And I'm not saying he's doing that, but to play at the level that he's been playing at, to do what he's been doing in Julius Randle's absence, it's more than we could have expected and more than we could have hoped for. But he's been doing it and doing it consistently. And Tom Thibodeau has been rewarding him, giving him consistent minutes, playing him as upwards to close to 40 minutes a night sometimes. But he's doing that so that way we can secure the victory and get the W for the New York Knicks. And if Achiuwa was not having a positive impact for the team, he would not be playing that many minutes. This is a statement, not only from Tom Thibodeau, not only from the New York Knicks, but also from Precious Achiuwa, somebody who came in here with a role that was undefined. But because of his hustle and his play, he defined his own role. He carved out his own playing time. And now he's become one of Tom Thibodeau's favorite players to play deep in games and late in stretches. That is something to say for somebody who was just traded to the team. And let's break down his impact and how he's done it for Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks. According to the New York Post, Precious Achiuwa needed to simplify and play the Tom Thibodeau style as a Knick, which took some time. Even those who saw him as a potential boost to the big rotation were disappointed with the early results. 2.8 points in 11.7 minutes per game on 44.4% shooting through his first 10 outings in the blue and orange. As I stated, when he first joined the New York Knicks and he was playing, he looked extremely bad. He was not doing what he needed to do, and a lot of Knicks fans, including myself, started to turn on him just a little bit. But he didn't give up, and he kept playing and doing his thing. And because of that, he continued on a path to success. Still, the glimpses were there. His offensive rebounding meshed perfectly, and he displayed the ability to play and guard multiple positions. It's all come together for him since then, right in time for the barrage of injuries hitting the Knicks. He's developed the requisite chemistry and knows what Tom Thibodeau expects of him. And he's been invaluable to the Knicks with Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Jericho Sims all missing games. Invaluable is an understatement. Check out what he's been averaging in the last 8 games he's been playing for the New York Knicks. It's extraordinary. In his last 8 games, Achiuwa is averaging a ridiculous 41.6 minutes a night. 41.6 minutes a night, putting up 14.5 points and 10.9 rebounds on 53.3% shooting from the field. Nobody has played more minutes, and only 2 players have corralled more offensive rebounds in that stretch than the supposed throw-in. From 11 minutes a night to 41 minutes a night. And not only does he take it, but he responds and becomes an impactful player for the Knicks. You couldn't ask for more. But how has he done it? What has he done to his game to make him so impactful for the Knicks and, of course, for Tom Thibodeau? According to the New York Post, Achiuwa has done it through a blend of effort, physicality, and a surprising amount of grace in his hands and feet. Watch a rebounding battle with Achiuwa. He'll bulldoze his way through multiple bodies, get in wide and low stands to secure his position, leap beyond those of his size can normally do to get a hand on the ball, and masterfully tap it in where it needs to go. His presence is just felt on the court. He sets strong screens, rolls hard, and gets a body when the ball goes up. I couldn't have put it better myself. Precious Achiuwa, when he's on the court for the New York Knicks, not only is he impactful, he's helping to score the ball. We have been down so many big men. If you guys remember, Jericho Sims out with illness, Isaiah Hartenstein out with the sore Achilles, and obviously you don't want to rush him back with that type of injury. So we've been dealing with so many injuries to our front court. We needed somebody else to step up, step in, and have an impact. Precious Achiuwa did that when nobody thought he could. Jalen Brunson and his pick and roll with Achiuwa has just been masterful. It looks great, and Achiuwa has been embracing it. And he looks good catching those bounce passes and rolling to the rim. And he's making the bucket, sometimes getting contact as well, too, and going to the line. That's exactly what you want to see your big man do. And he's getting rewarded for it, which is why he continues to roll to the basket. And I think once Mitchell Robinson gets back, you're going to see that as well with Isaiah Hartenstein as well, too. I think all of the Knicks big men are going to be rewarded, given the play of Precious Achiuwa and, of course, the rising star we have in Jalen Brunson, who is not only an all-star, but he's knocking on the door of superstardom. And when you're playing with players like that, players who are team-oriented, who want to win above all cost and will do anything to help that, they're going to make sure you get touches, that you look good, and that you're impactful for the New York Knicks. And that's exactly what Jalen Brunson has done with Precious Achiuwa in the lineup. I'm not saying it's only been Jalen Brunson, because Achiuwa has stepped up in a way that nobody saw it coming. And I'm so happy that he did that. But because of that style of play and Jalen Brunson recognizing that, it's helped the Knicks win more games than they might have lost if they haven't recognized that chemistry early on. Not one person can replace Julius Randle. Nobody can. He's a three-time All-Star, and his impact in the game is never going to be replaced by a couple of role players. However, if you have a couple of role players that step up their game, playing to a level that we've never seen before, consistently, and then you have a star in Jalen Brunson elevating his game, being the leader that we knew he could always be, but also putting the Knicks on his back and making sure we secure victories, anything can happen. And because of that, the Knicks have found a way to win and have found a way to float by in Randle's absence. And that's all you can do given the situation. And the Knicks are going to continue to do that with OG, Randle, and of course, Mitchell Robinson being out for still an extended period of time. However, we have some encouraging updates. Mitchell Robinson is set to be back in March. OG Anunoby could return as early as mid-March to late March. And Julius Randle, if he could have it his way, he would return to the court today. But the doctors are bringing him along slowly because they want to make sure he's fully healthy before he gets back on that court. Off-season surgery is not off the table, but if I know Randle, he's going to return this season. He's going to try to still remain an impactful player for the Knicks. And then once he can, and he's not hurting the Knicks' chances in the playoffs, he's going to get that surgery. He's going to be back in the fall for training camp, and he's going to be ready to put on the show for the New York Knicks next season. But he's focused, don't get me wrong, on coming back this season. And he will return this season, in my opinion. But when he does, Precious Achiuwa, guys like Donte DiVincenzo, guys like Isaiah Hartenstein, all of these guys that we've seen play 40-plus minutes, they're not going to play those minutes anymore. They're going to start coming back to reality and playing 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe most 30 to 32 minutes. But other than that, unless foul trouble or injury or health concerns call for it, they're not going to play those significant minutes again. That's why we have to appreciate what we're seeing right now, the impact we're seeing from some of these players and what they can do. It tells us and shows us how deep we are when healthy. We're going to have Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, and Donte DiVincenzo around a healthy Julius Randle, somebody who pulls 2 or 3 defenders in the paint and then sprays that ball around to the open shooter. And because of the fact that we made a trade to get us better shooters, we now have more threats, more people that the defenses have to collapse on and worry about, which means more room in the paint for Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and our other drivers in the paint to operate. That means more success for the Knicks and for the Knicks organization as a whole once we get healthy. This is exciting times to be a New York Knicks fan. Precious Achiuwa has stepped up in a way that we never thought he could. He's exceeded my expectations, Coach Tom Thibodeau's expectations, and I'm sure a lot of you fans watching this video right now, I'm sure I speak for you as well too. He's exceeded your expectations, but you know what? We'll all take it. We need players like this, not only during the season, but come the postseason as well too. And now we have a strong bench player in Precious Achiuwa, somebody who's ready when his number is called upon to head into the game, have an impact, but not only that, play as many minutes as you need him to play, and he's not going to complain about it. That's the players you need, and we have one. And he was seen as a throw-in. Not anymore. He's now seen as what he should have been seen the day that trade happened, as an absolute steal. But what about you guys? Do you agree with me? Do you think Precious Achiuwa has exceeded expectations? And do you agree? Is he the biggest steal of the NBA trade season thus far? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.